The sum of the square roots of any two sides of an isosceles triangle is equal to the square root of the remaining side.
That's a right triangle, you idiot!
So I think the moral of that story is that just putting glasses on won't automatically make you good at math. There are a few things that were wrong with what Homer Simpson said. Not just that it's a right triangle, not an isosceles triangle, but there's a couple other things. So he said the sum of the square roots of any two sides of an isosceles triangle is equal to the square root of the remaining side. Well, it's not the square roots, it's the squares. It's the sum of the square of any, it's not just any two sides, but specifically the two legs of a right triangle is equal to the square of the remaining side. And specifically the remaining side is called the hypotenuse. So if we had a right triangle, and it can only be a right triangle that the Pythagorean theorem can be used for. This is the Pythagorean theorem. And we have a right triangle defined by this right, because it has at least one, or has one right angle, which is 90 degrees. And the side that's opposite of that right angle is the hypotenuse. And then these two guys are the legs of the right triangle. And then the legs of the right triangle are perpendicular, and they make that 90 degree angle. And so let's say the length of this side is defined by A, and the length of this side is defined by B. And so the sum of the square of the two sides of a right triangle, so the sum of the squares, so the square of A plus the square of B, so the sum of those squares is equal to the square of the hypotenuse. So let's say the length of hypotenuse is defined by C, and so it equals the square of the hypotenuse. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And that is the Pythagorean theorem.